how much should I invest in an annuity?
Jeff, that's a really good question. It's different for every person's purpose. Some people have the primary purpose for income. They need income immediately or they need income later. Some people's the primary purpose of that money is to pass on to the beneficiaries, or many people have it set up to where they want to just put just enough in their plan to where if the husband dies or the wife dies, there's enough income to replace for the loss of Social Security or pension. But I'll give you some basic ideas where people are actually looking at these a little bit more closely and how they're deciding how much money they should put into an annuity. The primary purpose of annuities is for income at some point and safety for most people. And the four different types of annuities: immediate annuity, which is like a pension; a fixed annuity, which is like a CD; the variable annuity, which is mutual funds; and then the index annuity, which is the hybrid, which gives market upside without the downside. What they did is the hybrid income plan, they took the immediate annuity, which is like a pension, combined it with the fixed annuity and the index and put it into one, and here are the terms. They all have market upside without the downside. But the negative is you don't get all the upside. Now, if you have ones that have no limits of earnings, you have a much better chance of fighting inflation. They do have a floor. It's called an income floor, and it's the minimum it can grow by per year, and that floor is going to grow from 2% as high as 8% per year. So people that don't need income right away may want to get a much higher floor, which means it's a longer-term account to turn on income down the road. There is costs. We talked about the fees and the costs in the past, between 0.4% to 1% on average. Okay, some are lower, some are higher. And the most important part is when you decide to turn on income, you get a lifetime income without annuitization, without losing control of the money. And here's the point. Many people worked for an employer, and they had a 401k or an IRA they put money into, and their employer gave them options. They said, option number one, I have this pot of money, and I can invest this money and take it out as a lump sum. Now, if they take that out as a lump sum, if they invest it and the market doesn't do well or they live too long, they can run out. Option number two is that they can take that income for life. They're happy that they have income. They can never run out of that income. But the negative is if they're tired of the situation and they want to pull cash out of their money, they can't have access to money. There's no access to it. They lose control of the money. What these companies are doing today is they're saying that you can have both. You can have lifetime income for the rest of your life, but if you choose to, you have the right to cash it in. So the question is, how much should I put in one of these plans? Well, you have to first decide what the purpose of this money is for. If the purpose of this money is designed for safety, number one, and income at some point in the future, most of my clients decide how much they put in based upon to cover their living expenses. Let's take a quick example. We had some clients we worked with recently, and they were each receiving Social Security income. One of the spouses was receiving $1,200 a month, and the other spouse was receiving $1,000 a month. Okay, and they're happy about that. But even though they're receiving close to $30,000 in Social Security per year, they still need additional income than this. Okay, meaning they needed an extra $20,000 a year off their investments. Okay, so in this particular case, their lifestyle desired about approximately $50,000 of income to support their lifestyle. And that's what their basic living expenses is for. So what we did is we figured out based on their ages, when they needed money, how much should we put in this hybrid income plan to support this $20,000? Because if they put their money into stocks, funds, international funds, and for whatever reason they're losing and it depletes the account, game over, it's done. Well, with this, they can have income for life. Doesn't matter how long they live, but they still have access to pull the money out down the road if they don't spend it all, if they want to do something else with it, or if they die, the company doesn't keep it. Okay, so for this example here, we only needed approximately $250,000, and they only needed income in a few years down the road, and we were able to guarantee them $25,000 a year for the rest of their life, but they still have their money. But not only that, but that income could increase. Okay, I'll give you one more example. One of our clients just got retired from Boeing, and when they retired, they said, I have this 401k. I'm relatively young. I'm in my 60s, and I'm really concerned about inflation. So we decided to put just enough to cover the basic living expenses, but we made sure the account could go up every single year. In other words, the income next year could be $22,000 a year, or if inflation's less than that, it could be less than that. What I'm saying is once that income goes up, it can never go back down. And that's so important for people that are younger, is to consider plans that have guaranteed increase in income, and most plans don't have that. So that's one of the things you want to look at depending on what the purpose of the money and when you're going to turn on income at that point.